Thank you, son. I don't know what to say, but thank you. He catches us by surprise at times. Moving right along. Gail Nogle, I tell you, the first time I saw her photographic works, I was just awed. And when I saw her studio and her gallery and heard about her wonderful work with the children and how she uses props and costumes and her amazing work in the darkroom, I was truly impressed. I tell you, she is a very extraordinary person, and a lot of you are familiar with her work. I know you see her enthusiasm, you see her passion in her work, and she is just marvelous. She's a native New Yorker, but she's one of us Texans, and she has studied photography. She has degrees and, from the Professional Photographers of America. And she mentored with the Giddings Photography Studio. And then she opened her own studio in 1990. And her work is, it's a vision to be inspired by. I'm going to, without any further ado, bring Gail Nogle to the podium. And let's give her a great big round of applause.
Wow, what a great introduction. Thank you, Elaine and Artis, for inviting me to come speak here today. When Artis said to me, Gail, next year we want you to be our speaker at a guest lecture here at after the lecture series, after the program in the summer, and I said, well, let me think about it. He said, what's there to think about? Well, I'm a film shooter. He didn't know this. I'm a film shooter, so I was thinking, how am I going to get my 85,000 negatives, pick something, and get it digitized and be able to use it? So that's what I was worried about, Artis. But anyway, I've learned a lot, and that's every day you can learn something. I'm going to read a quote to you if we can get that on the screen. JD. And there's nothing like causing a commotion here before you get the lecture and everything going. As a photographer, you can cause a commotion wherever you go or not. A camera is a ticket to get you anywhere you want to go. I highly recommend it. I'm often asked, how do you choose finally what goes within the defined borders of a photograph? That's like asking me for my life's history. Everything that I do, think about, live and breathe out of the box goes into the box. That is the rectangle of my eye on the world. And I would say that everybody that's sitting here, you have a rectangle of your eye on the world as well. And the more you see, the more you see. The more you see, the more you think and feel. So I'm going to take you through some of my experiences. If I can find my go button here. And show you what I've seen and what I've done in my life. Whoa. This is my first camera. I was 8 years old here. I'm with my aunt and my two sisters. So photography has been with me since, well, forever. And I like the pants. That was in the style at the time. That's me on the right with the camera. Troy, New York. That's me second from the left. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. I started taking pictures when I was 13 and developing them. I was babysitting for a family, and they said when the children go to sleep, hang the film up to dry. So I did, and that's where I got the bug of printing and developing my own film. When I got to high school, and this is a high school picture in 1967, I had my first show. So here's my first show in 1967. I went to the Challenger people, who was a newspaper, the school newspaper, and I said, I can take pictures and develop them. Well, they loved that. They said, you're hired on the spot. This is me. I graduated from the Rochester, isn't it a fright how people change? I graduated from the Rochester Institute of Technology in 1973. And this is me. We were using a 4x5 film camera or 8x10 at the time. Most people don't even know what that is anymore. Of course, Ansel Adams used that camera, one of those cameras too, so back in the day. At the time that I graduated, the ratio at this RIT was 300 to 1, so I had 300 guys to every girl that was there. I never had a problem getting a darkroom partner. So I found this old picture of me standing there with 3 guys. I thought it was kind of interesting. I stuck it in. When I graduated from RIT, I applied to one place. I applied to the Giddings organization, and I got the job. This is Mr. Giddings. I worked with him before he died in 1889. Well, I'm really dating myself. 1989 is when he died, and I love working. He was a fabulous photographer and also a businessman, which is rare when you're a photographer to have both talents and do them equally well. He had that. This is a photograph of me. I'm on the left in the black here, and in the pink is my mentor with who I learned from at Giddings and who I am forever grateful for all that she has taught me. She's in the audience here. That's Yvonne Reisman. She taught me a lot about photographing children and a lot about life, and like I say, I'm forever grateful. On her right is James French. Some of you may know him, and also Karen Alman is sitting next to me. She's in the audience as well. She's another photographer. So when I worked at Giddings, I was lucky to work with these people. We learned from each other, and it's a great way to learn. When you're looking at your own work, it's very hard to say it's good or bad. You always think your own work is good, but these guys kept us straight on what's good and what wasn't good. This is my first subject here. He's in the audience as well. I guess there's going to be a few people in the audience that are in these photographs. When I was at Giddings, I learned to photograph men, brides, teens, groups, and children. My first love and forte is photographing children. You say, why? After the next picture. This title of this one is Happy Halloween. There's nothing happy in this picture at all, including the pumpkins. Whoops, where'd it go? My husband carved those, these are my 2 children, my husband carved those pumpkins. I said, why did you make the pumpkins sad? But I had to take the pictures right away, so I got my kids in there, and anyway, Lauren is screaming at the bottom, and Harold's mad because he was done, and he said he wanted to get out of there. But why I love to photograph children is because they're alive, and because they have every emotion. And this is something I took at the beach. Today we have a lot of competition. Everybody is a photographer. So you got to be on your toes and learn as much as you can. Even the nuns are taking pictures of each other these days. So to develop a style and have your own style is worth it. This man is Jay Stock. He is another mentor I was lucky to study with as well as Yvonne. I studied with him for the past 24 years, 3 and 4 times a year. And wherever he taught a class, I went. I learned so much from him, and also forever grateful to him. He wanted to be here, but he's 86 years old now, still shooting, and has a passion beyond. I mean, he's a wonderful human being, and his work is outstanding. If you get a chance, go to see Jay Stock on your computers, you photographers out there, and look at his work. It's phenomenal. Now, this is one of my favorite quotes. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I was lucky to come upon a book here that says, just ask. The first class that I was in with these students here a couple of weeks ago, Milton was talking about all you have to do is ask questions or ask to find out what you need to learn. And of course, it's also how you ask, who you ask, why you ask, when you ask. And I also learned from my kids, if you don't get the right answer from the first person you ask another person. Like mom or dad or whoever, but just ask. Most of us are afraid to ask. So